Doom.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Nothing But Answers.
Nothing but answer.
We're doing it a
Answer.
little different tonight, okay? So we're going to say, welcome back to another edition of Nothing But.
Answer.
Answers. Answers. You said different. I gave you
Answers.
The place you come to hear the most off-key singing in your life.
different.
That's what. So, Leanne, go ahead. Do your thing.
Oh my gosh.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, Lee?
Hey, Lily.
Daryl,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Daryl,
yes.
what's
Yes.
going on? How's your week been? How's everything going?
Week's been good. Feeling a little, something today. Not sure what it is, but I'm here. I'm glad to see all you beautiful people, and I'm just looking to have a great show.
Nice, nice, nice. Ruth, what's happening with you?
What's up, Lee Little? What's up? Ruth's in the house. She made it. Hush, Vaughn, it's my turn. And doing well, having a great week thus far. The weather's going to start warming up, so I've got to get ready for the warm weather to be out in those streets, come out of the yard, and enjoy life. Thanks for asking.
You want
Oh,
me in
you're
the
welcome. And the
Hilarious.
one, the only. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's been a quick week.
Mm-hmm.
A little frustrating at work, but everything's all good. Glad to be done with and welcome in the weekend.
Yes.
And the man, the one, the only,
Hey.
No on, no.
Navon.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's been a
What's up?
interesting week.
I didn't say
I'm
no.
chilling. Navon. Navon. They
Devon,
mess.
Devon.
Navon with it in.
Navon.
Navon.
Yeah. It's been a good
That's what I
week.
said. That's what I said.
Somebody said, duh.
No, that was introducing like the man, the Vaughn, the
No.
you know what I mean?
That's Ruth.
The man.
That
Ruth,
was like,
The one,
that was
the
like the wrong.
only, Navon.
we're gonna need to test those bottles. Cause I don't know what be going on. And
We
then
gonna
it was
need to
supposed
test people's.
I got a double water. That's what I got.
And I got an old lady drink, and they don't put that stuff in there. So
I bet they do. I bet they do. I was supposed to be in Florida this week, but I had to switch my flight. I'm going in a couple weeks. I'm going back down. But thank God the weather was good here. I'm loving it right now. So yeah, we were taking. I was just telling them that we were taking. I was just telling them. Oh, so you hear that echo?
I
Somebody's
definitely
echoing.
said it. I think you said it twice.
Yep. Oh, let me see. No, it's not me. It's not me.
it's not me.
Is it me?
It's usually you.
It is, but I don't think it's me this time.
Mm.
All right, it's off. I was telling Lee, I was like, we're gonna see Ruth right around that quarter after mark. As Ruth makes an entrance, she loves to make an entrance.
It was actually 5 after, but
Yeah, you're doing great. Why are you so early? What happened?
because I told Grandma Ruth I'm out of there. Got to get somewhere. Bye. Shut the door and ran.
Roger got done the laundry early. That's what that was.
No, he's still down there actually.
Oh my God. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
We
So
don't have.
we good. Daryl looking serious.
Yeah, that's a serious face.
Ain't he? Like, I
Mm.
done had enough of
Hey,
this.
hey,
What's
listen,
that about?
I'm just here, ready to participate in the show and give some correct answers.
You had your scared straight face on. What the hell? We
I,
did not do it.
I didn't have to be scared to be straight. I was always straight.
Oh,
Like,
What
walk
are you
right into that one.
trying
All
to-
right.
uh,
Well,
I
let's
did not.
what are you alluding to,
Mm,
Vaughn? I don't
mm.
know what you're alluding to.
Yeah, this guy.
It's gonna be that kind of night.
let's get into
All right, I'm ready.
What are we getting into? How about, is there anything this week that anybody want to talk about?
Y'all see Umar Johnson's daughter try to say that he was a deadbeat dad. She went
did
on
not.
live.
I did
So
not.
she went on live, put this whole post up that she was that he was a deadbeat dad, and then he responded and was like, "Let's have a sit down." He didn't call his mom. He said, "Where's Mama Smurf at?" He kept calling her Smurf.
Oh
He
no.
said, "And all of us would go live, and I'll bring my white man paperwork, talking about his court orders." He said, "I'll show you where I've been paying child support before you were even born."
Mm.
And people were saying, child support is not actually being a father, and which started a whole nother argument because people are like, it's not. Some people don't understand it's not even the father's fault. You could be paying child support, and she's just making it difficult to see your child. So it was a whole nother thing going on. And then he even alluded like, you're just trying to get your
15 minutes
your
of fame.
yeah. He was like, and I'm going to help you. Because she said, I can't. I tried to call you. I couldn't see you. He's like, I speak at all of these places, these high school graduations. My number has been the same for 20 years. You can always find me. Why? Because I'm always right here. And yeah, it was getting ugly.
Wow.
I want to see what it do though.
So that is very interesting that the if you don't choose to be in a child's life, or you're not allowed to be, but you're doing what is asked of you by court, because that's what they go to court for, right? They go to court for to gain support, right? And if you're doing that, and if you don't want to be, or like Vaughn said, sometimes you're not allowed to be, or who wants a headache to try to come see this child where you don't have the ability to do it without the gatekeeper, which can be either parent. Sometimes, I'm not doing
Troll
that.
under the bridge.
Yeah.
Right? Does that now make you a deadbeat?
Right.
Because in that case, I would feel like if, well, that's why you gotta have these conversations really before you lay down with someone, because something can come from it.
Something
But then
bad.
it gets into other things too, because like, say if you don't want a child and you lay down with somebody, but somebody has the ability to say whether you can or cannot have this child, and you have those.
Anthony Anderson is going through that, I believe, right now,
Right.
where he said, I didn't want to have a child, but you shot the club up, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the issue.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because I wonder what or how that came to be, because that's also a very interesting question. Like, if you're going in, but again, you don't just shoot it up by
Randy
yourself.
Savage.
Let's not.
She had to let you do it.
Right. Let's not. So it's funny because they talk about it takes two people to do something, but one person to make a decision. So it's just not
That's
really.
wild.
Yeah, it's not consistent, right? And I think he was who he was already. I think he has shown, I guess, previously, if I'm not getting it, please correct me if I'm wrong, that I think he had a child. He kind of did the same thing with the child before. Like, I don't want anything to do with this child. Whatever the support is, I'll pay it, but I don't want
nothing to do with it.
Right. And I think that I don't see what's wrong with that. If somebody's making a decision I don't think he should. I don't think they should be should come at him
Right.
anymore. And if they're coming at him, they come at her too. Like, you have the child. Right? It took two of them, so blame should be whatever your dispersion you're casting should be equally disseminated between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when the kid gets older and wants to?
Who
What?
cares? I'm to think about that when
No. But that's part of this big picture. When the kid is old enough to say, "Hey, I know that dad didn't want to be involved, but I want to be involved with my dad." Then it's between the dad and the kid.
So 9 times out of 10, it didn't happen that way. 9 times out of 10.
Well, whatever that stat is,
Or-
it does happen.
No, what I'm
It does
saying is,
happen.
it usually doesn't happen because that mom or that
Has
parent
been
who has
saying-
the child has kicked that kid's back in. The kid usually is not going to want the parent that's not there because they're probably spoken about in not a kind light. I'm like, they weren't
Yeah.
here, they left you, they ain't. I'm here taking care of you. These type of things happen. So usually,
but-
like, a kid isn't until they're grown. And they might want to learn where they came from. They may want to meet the person, but there's no real bond in that.
Well, I'm
You don't-
speaking
you
from
don't
an
have-
experience with my family members and how that went down with the mom being difficult about when she and the dad broke up, about the kids seeing her and, like you're saying not so good things about him. He was a good father in my eyes, but later on the kids wanted to, as young adults, 17, 18, 23, wanted to reach out to the dad and start bonding. So that's where I was coming from, thinking about that.
So, but even then, and I know people may not agree with me, and you may not agree with this, but if I don't know you, I don't know you. Even if you're my child, we don't have a bond. We don't have anything. I don't know you, so there's no bond there. Just because we share blood doesn't mean I hold anything for you special in my heart when I don't know you. I haven't had that day to day with you.
But these kids did know him only because they lived with him before the breakup with them, is what I'm saying.
Well, see, with this situation with Anthony Anderson, he hasn't had them at all.
Okay,
He
that's
don't
good.
want nothing to do.
Well, how long did they live with him? How long was that?
What, Anthony's kids?
No.
One of your.
My family members, they were with him until the girls were about, I want to say, 11, maybe.
Okay, so
Or older. They were older.
So they
young
had
kids.
relationship.
Yeah.
They did. But I mean, it's tough because when that relationship isn't, you're not feeling that relationship, it does get tough. Because I think you have to move away from the situation, you kind of got to divorce yourself from it, or you'll think about it every
You
day.
got to divorce everything.
Yeah.
Right. So it has to be tough now, and then now to say, let's have a relationship when now we kind of don't know each other. That, from 11 to, and the kids went through a lot. It's tough. And that's
it's a tough situation. It is.
That's a terrible situation. And
That's wild.
I think they're all hard and terrible situations when kids are involved with it. It's just,
Yep.
especially if you have a mom that's saying your dad is not shit,
or dad, it
Or
could be-
dad, I'm saying, or dad. Yeah.
The other parent, the
Parent.
one parent kicks the other parent's back in, and they have the child for a long amount of time. You can warp the sense of that child's opinion of the other parent, right? And that becomes difficult. I mean, that could even happen in a relationship. Say if you do split and you guys are having 50-50 custody. One parent still could say some things very negative and try to warp that kid's sense or turn them against the other child. And that's terrible, but it does happen a lot. But I think I would rather a person say, look, we're having fun, we're kicking it. I don't want anything to do with this. And let you know up front.
You
And I
broke the
think it's wrong
contract.
for somebody to try to force somebody to do something they didn't want to do. Like, if I don't want to take care of shit or be around this child,
Right.
I shouldn't have to.
And here's the flip. If a girl gets pregnant and she chooses, or you get a girl pregnant and she chooses not to have that child and you want that child, you have absolutely no say.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. You have one person making a decision for two.
For
Or
two.
three. Actually, for three.
For three. Right,
We had
right.
twins before. It's just one person becomes almost a dictator, becomes a dictatorship.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So just like you can say, I want to, the other person should maybe say, I don't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now you want to continue on, by all means, continue on. It's
It's a slippery slope.
It is. Yeah.
but I think if we started to look at it that way, it may help because one side is allowed to make when we use the word mistake. I'm not saying kids are mistake. Some of them are, but I'm saying but we're both entering into this, and when this thing happens, only one person has the decision what to do, which affects everyone else's life.
Everybody.
We all should be able to, just like we both laid down to do this, we both should be able to make a decision on what we're going to do. And maybe this will stop some people from just laying down with people. Maybe it will stop from people just, people out here just being, maybe it will make
A little
people
reckless.
cautious, right? I'll be cautious if I know that if this happens, I got to take care of this child alone. Or if this happens, she may not allow me access to the child, or she may take and
terminate.
make the turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not to me fair. And when we talk about like double standards and things of that, like this is something that could be talked about. Like, we have no say as men in this situation, unless we just say don't do it at all. And that doesn't sound
And
like
just take right and just
That is an option, that is one of the options.
yeah, that sounds great.
Like, don't go there.
Right. But but that option doesn't make sense because we're going there with another person who's willing to go there. Right. So
Then go there and protect yourself so you can have some say in your life.
there's no 100% protection, Ruth.
I didn't say 100%.
Right. So that means
I
there is
said
no
95. Try.
There's
Try.
no, but you can try, but if it still happens, then what? There's
yeah,
no
and
saying,
they break, and them things break. Them things break sometimes.
Wear two or three. Oh, no.
wearing two
What?
makes it break even more.
Hamburger wrapper. Remember that conversation last week?
Yes, I do. Very vividly. Thank you.
What is she trying to say?
Saying we got to take responsibility somewhere. So
No, you're saying that, and then you're saying that we're not taking responsibility because
no, some are not. I'm not saying all. Some are not.
No, women are. What responsibility are women taking?
Some women aren't either.
No. Any woman that gets pregnant, she's not.
Excuse me?
If a woman gets pregnant, she's not taking. She's not being responsible. And then, if that's what we're saying, if we're talking about a man wrapping it up, I'm pretty sure he was allowed to put it in her without wrapping it up.
Mm-hmm. And she knew.
Maybe she fell for the all-out pull-out trick.
So there you go. Now,
well, there she's
taking off accountability. Once again, you kind of make her. She's not tricked if a penis in her. How do you trick somebody with a
pull-out trick? That's the part.
It's not a trick. Once a penis is in you raw, anything can happen. It. Stop being so again, or unless women are just not. Well, I'm not gonna say it. Women
don't.
Women have to be accountable for themselves, and it's always it's a blame game. Like he tricked me. No, he didn't trick. He didn't trick you. You allowed him to be in you raw.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Ronnie at? So she can say what we needed to say.
Yeah, where's my girl?
Mm-hmm.
Where's my girl?
So
Ronnie says, "Hey everyone."
Hey Ronnie, just in time. We talking about the male sluts, Ronnie. Male sluts.
We talking.
Ronnie said, wrap it up.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Right. So again, it's up to the man to do everything. So the woman just has to accountable for her own life. What kind of stuff is that?
So the man, it's his responsibility to wrap it up.
Talk about it, Vaughn.
It's his responsibility if they got to take care of the child.
Well,
but he cannot stop her from not having the child, even though she allowed him to go all natural with him. We'll use that word. How about that? To be all natural relations.
You wanted the raw dick. Let's say it.
Mm-hmm. Chocolate shake. That's what she got.
She wanted
it. Chocolate shake.
She said there will be no glove between this love. That's what she said.
Shut up, Darryl.
What? See, hit dog collar. When the truth starts to come out, they get upset. It's two people engaging in a consent. If it's consensual, we're talking about something that's consensual. Okay, let's make sure two people can engage in a consensual night of fun.
Okay.
How long that fun is, I don't know. It could be a minute.
Y'all gotta put the number up.
10 minutes. 50. I don't know how long the fun is going to be. But it seems like, once you you give your life over to her once you have that fun.
Yeah. That should be what is it called? That's contraceptive enough. Show these young boys this is what's gonna happen.
Right. There's consequences in everything we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
These are the consequences.
So, but why? Okay, well, see again. So, if we can, I just want to make sure if we're cool with one-sided consequences or double standard. Make sure we're cool with them across the board.
Oh no, I'm not cool with none of that. It need to be equal. Everybody catches.
Why is it a double standard, or why is it one-sided?
Because you were off for the first half hour, so you missed the whole show. But we were saying that.
No, just answer her, God.
we were saying how if say a woman does get pregnant, she gets to choose whether that child makes it to full term, like it's here. Once that conception happens, he has no say on what really happens in that case. She could say we're going to go along with this, or she could say we're not. We're going to terminate.
And her consequences would be if she decides that she wants to have this child, and he decides that he doesn't want anything to do with the baby, she has to be the person to carry that burden
with his support. He still has to support that.
He has a court order to pay child support, but she can make the decision whether or not it is the child even comes to term.
Meaning
he has nothing to say in that.
No matter what happens, she can gain his support, right?
No matter what.
If he wanted that child, she could say, you know what? We're not doing this. We are not doing this. No, you're not doing
this.
So it becomes a situation where one person has, after everything is consensual, one person has holds all the cards to decide what happens for three people.
Yeah, that's life.
Hey.
Okay, cool.
Which is even good.
Like I said, as long as we can be consistent about some of these other things it's just life. Just make sure
we got to deal with it anyway. We deal with
what do we do? What do you
the stigma of being hoes and body counts and a lot of misogynistics that goes on in the workplace.
Talk about your body count.
I didn't relate the misogynistic.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the comma. I didn't know it was a comma or a semicolon. I didn't know what followed.
Slash, dash, hyphen.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, so I don't know how.
Because you didn't let her finish. That's why.
Yes, we did.
Ronnie said both sides should be responsible.
Thank you.
But do both sides have a say?
They should
in
be.
The child.
Right. It's
getting here.
Right.
Which is why shouldn't even more responsibility be put on that man since he feels like he has no say after the fact? Make sure you protect yourself.
It should be more on him to take care of her.
No, make sure you're covered for what you want that outcome to be.
So Ruth,
what?
If he gets her pregnant and she's supposed to be on the pill or he has on the condom, it doesn't work. It breaks whatever.
Okay.
There's a child coming. He's like, I'm cool with it. I can handle that responsibility. I'm good with it. And she says, no. You know what's funny? Y'all never check on men. Y'all have nothing set up to check on men to see how that affects them when a woman decides not to have that child.
Okay.
Well, we're not saying
you are.
You are, because you're saying if he made this decision.
I don't know what you're saying. I just said it. I don't know what you have to say.
Not all women don't listen to men and things like that.
No. So even that, Leanne, I'm sorry. To be honest, you said not all women. Some women do.
I'm saying some women do listen to you and will work with you.
At the end of the day, you still have all the power. You may take under.
There's nothing we can do to change that.
You can.
That's the law of the land.
If the rules were, you know what? If you have that baby, he don't want to be part of it. It's all on you. I think things would be different. That's what I said. The law
way different.
It'd be
Way
different.
different.
I'm not going to do something most of the time if I know the consequences are me 100%
Well,
having.
we're both engaging in the act that we know can bear children.
So why don't we both have the same
Say.
way on what happens in it? If you're right, so that's what I'm saying. If it's even, if it's both of us doing something, why don't we both have a say? Because it definitely doesn't work for that person who says, I want this child as a man, and the woman saying, I'm cool, I'm going to, get this done. So it doesn't hold the same weight. We don't have the same weight in the actual what happens with that baby, right? And I get it. It's your body, do what you want, but it should be a consequence that I shouldn't have to now, because you chose to do something after we chose to do something, that I have to now be stuck here with this.
I hear that. I can hear that. I can hear that. So
Ronnie says she has to carry the child.
Yeah, it's like
Ronnie says
you carry the
men
dick
can
now.
walk away at any time.
No, we can't. Let's be honest. You
Wait,
carry
what
it for 9 or 10 months. You carry the child for 9 to 10 months. We have to carry that child till the day it leaves here. Don't, as a father, you're going to carry that child. If you are a
Not
man,
all fathers are like that, though.
and not all women, and not all of y'all women,
Majority of the,
and not all of y'all women that give birth are mothers.
Even children,
and that's the way it works. So
that's the way it goes.
What are we arguing about?
okay, listen. So listen, as long as everybody's okay with double standards, I'm tired of people. Let's call it what it is.
It's been double
But
standards.
we didn't set
across
those
the
standards.
board.
Yeah, we didn't set those standards as women. We didn't set those standards.
Oh, so just because it falls in your favor, it's okay.
Wait.
No. Not that it's okay, but that's more importantly, make sure you know who you're laying down with. Let's start at the beginning then.
Wait a minute, but
So-
that, see, again,
Ronnie
your
said, get
premise,
married first.
Thank you.
and that doesn't
I don't stop that either.
Your premise is still flawed because again, if I want the child as a man and you don't want it as a woman, I can't have that child.
I can't have that child. You
I
can
get
terminate that child, and I get nothing.
Not
I
even
get
as much as
nothing.
a pat on the back to say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you she did that to you." Doesn't happen.
Again.
And if I don't want that
It
child,
doesn't happen for whom? Like, you're not
The man.
sharing that
The man.
information. You're
The
not
man.
sharing that. You're not sharing that information in your friend group, saying, "Oh,
No,
I
no.
really wanted this baby."
Wait,
And
you know what men do? We do talk about these things.
we
You ever
do.
hear-
okay, so you
you
get
ever
your
seen-
pat on the back, right?
No, you don't. You ever
Yo,
seen
hold
a
on.
show
That's
talk about men?
dismissive.
Wait,
That's
have you ever
very
seen
dismissive.
anything? Wait a minute. Have you ever seen anything where they talk about men who baby were taken from them without against their wishes? You've never seen that. You've never seen a cry.
Oh, so you want notoriety of it?
No.
Yes, it's a problem. Yes, because you again to know that something's a problem, we talk about it. Like women talk about their problems, right? They talk about men leaving
Well,
us.
where's the men group that is?
That's what I said
behind
to
it?
you. That's what I said to you in the very beginning. I said you don't have a follow up. No, nobody's
Right.
following up, checking on them men
Okay.
or those young men saying, "How did this affect you?"
Right.
Now
Right.
you got these. If you got to realize he's actually like
Ronnie said,
yo,
"Stop bashing women."
There you go.
Stop bashing men.
Anytime you say
So-
anything affirmative of a man means you're bashing a woman. It doesn't. We can talk about how we feel, and it doesn't mean we're bashing anything, right?
And I can hear you.
Right.
I can hear
right.
you.
Thank
I
you.
can hear you. However, you
See?
do have to
See?
have these talks with that person before you lay down with them, and all these things can occur. You've
And
got to have
that-
talk.
But Ruth, even having talks because things can change in the moment, right?
They can.
When you get pregnant, things change. You may say, I don't want any children. We're using condoms. You get pregnant. You may be like, oh my God, this life inside of me, and now you want to keep it. Now you're going against what we talked about, or it could happen, and you're like, you know what? I just can't do it right now. I got a new job. I got something. So it's really based off. You're right. We should have a conversation. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but understand conversations can change in
They can.
But in the beginning, most people are not even having these conversations.
No, they're just jumping in and doing the do.
Right. And
That's really the problem. That's really the
could
bigger
be
problem.
problematic. But I really think the problem is more that the way things are set up, it makes it okay. It makes it okay to have this child because I know it's going to be supported.
And that's
One way
what
or
Daryl
another,
was saying.
this child will be supported because I can go force him to pay support. I can lean on the government for support. I can get support. So I'm never really alone doing it. So it makes it almost appetizing to do. I think if things were different,
And
then
how they
maybe
said-
we'd move differently. Go ahead.
And that's how they say 18 years, pay 18 years to find out the kid in his. I mean, you still you get you can get help for a dude who or that decided, or let's say even the woman, if she was forced to get whatever, you don't have the child. There's not you don't win. You don't, there's no help in that. There's no support. And no one has ever addressed that fact.
Ronnie said, "Be more careful with who you with."
You could say
Doug
that.
with the right head. Think.
So again, you're still only putting an emphasis on him. Where's her accountability with so-called her body, her choice? If it's her body, her choice to take raw penis, she needs to be held accountable for her choice.
Her body, her choice.
Her choice, right? That's what you guys talk about.
Yeah,
I agree. So if it's your choice and you choose to raise this life and I choose not to be a part of it, I should be able to say, I don't want to be a part of this.
And y'all keep saying her body, her choice.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, Ronnie says.
Right.
And
I know that's her body, her choice, right? Is that an opinion? Or is that
well, wait. No, it's not. That's not right. That's a wrong statement because that child body belongs to that child. That child ain't got no choice in that. And to be and if you want to keep it a buck, ain't that part of my body in there? That's part of me in you, right? Right. Because I gotta pay support if it get here.
So part of our body, we don't have a choice.
We don't care. Right.
We don't have our body, our choice. It's only for women. It's one side.
Right.
I didn't think what Vaughn just said, but he did just say there's a part of you in her that you lost.
You know what I meant.
No. I didn't think about it like that.
What you meant, Vaughn.
No, really. But you lost that part of you put in her.
Yep.
You lost control of something. Like you gave it to her, now it's hers. So now she has control over it. That's what's happening.
Again, it is the way it is, right?
Right.
So we have to work with what we have. We have to make the best decisions as consenting adults at the helm, the beginning, before we get into all this after effect. That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
This is the way it is. We might as well just leave it alone because it's the way it is, right?
Stop. Hey, you might have
Ruth. You've been married. You've been married since the second grade.
Whatever.
We should do all the double standards. Women should make as much.
Some folks are just jumping in, having fun, and then they want to fly this river after.
No, it should be fine. Why would you complain
said
about
cry a river? I have to.
Yes,
I have to work on my debating skills. I get a little emotional about things like this.
All right. Well,
I have to.
You know what I meant, Vaughn.
Yeah.
No, I know what you said.
I'm saying for those that are careless with it. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, at the end of the day, there should be no support given if you.
I did not say that. I did not say that.
Who said you said? I'm telling you. I'm saying I don't know. What are you?
Smoke. It's so much smoke on the other side of that screen.
Some people just argue to argue. They don't listen. And their ears, their choice, I guess. They hear what they want to hear. I don't know.
My ears, my choice, what I listen to.
She come on like Marsha. And she Tamika.
It's just it's interesting. Like I said, if we go back to Anthony, what's his name? Anthony Edwards. Anderson. She's trying to make a big deal about him not wanting to be there, and he's like, I don't want to be there. I don't want
to be here.
Wow.
And with the Dr. Umar thing, I don't know what all happened, right? But I don't know if he didn't want to be there or he couldn't be there, but he did. I guess take his financial obligation.
Yeah, that part
that was bestowed upon him and fulfilled it. I don't know what else, And again, for a child, it's not really the child's fault saying, I want to do my life now, right? I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
But she mad at him. Like she don't want nothing to do with him.
And I get it.
Got a lot of resentment. Mm-hmm.
Well, if someone tells you he ain't nothing and look at him, he's on TV again, he's running around like he ain't never cared about you, what would you feel?
Mm-hmm.
What would you feel? I don't think you could feel anything good if it's a whole bunch of people talking negatively about him. But I don't know enough about the situation to, because what led him not to be there? What led him not to, have the child for visits and things of that nature? So there's a lot to the story, and we just jumped to he's a deadbeat, which he may or may not be. Like I don't know enough of the story, but if he didn't want to be there and he felt he did his financial obligations, then I don't know what else to do. You can't force something. Very long.
Quick question: are the comments on the YouTube open? I got people that are texting me. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody's probably. You can you see him, Leon? I know he's having some trouble. I can open them if you.
No, the comments are open.
Wait, nobody wrote anything.
Yeah,
right. That's what he said. He was trying to write it. Something. Maybe that's something on his end.
Yeah, because I said the YouTube would definitely pop right up on here.
Yeah. So. Got you.
Ronnie says, "Stop while you're ahead." Then she says, "Women should have one up on the man anyway."
Okay.
Tell us more, Ronnie. Honestly, why would anybody have one up on somebody? Like, what are we saying there? I would like to know that.
Yeah, Ronnie, you have literally stopped the whole show because we are waiting for that comment.
We'll keep it moving, but yeah, you don't have to put that one up, Lane. Yeah, I just hit the group and it popped right up. So
got you.
Maybe something, but yeah, please, and tell them they can call in too because we would love to.
I just made sure told them that.
Yeah.
Now it's funny that all the inequalities that you have, the one inequality that women have over men is the life of their child. Is for the pregnancy. Y'all got all the other things. Let's say you can, but you got this one thing, like the family jewels. You got his entire legacy in your hands, and you can decide, yay or nay, and there's nothing we can do about that.
Ronnie says men get to walk away from you anytime.
Right, we do. So that goes back to me. I think we'll go back to when women, you said that a man should know who he's laying with. Well, I think women have the same responsibility, right? They should know who they're laying with.
Yes.
So if you're laying with someone, like you said, same thing, the accountability. If you're laying with someone and you guys are really here taking these risks, then your understanding could be you could be a single mom. That should be something you think about. And again, if you were thinking about that and thinking about like no different than him, thinking he could, he could have a child. I'm saying we both should have these thoughts. And then when it comes to the child, we both should have say in what happens with our future.
Right.
Agreed. That's in an ideal world. Yes.
It's our future, right? So
but that's not how it usually rolls. We know that.
What do you mean it's not how it rolls?
Meaning, again, I don't think all that consideration goes into those one night stand things or, even though they're consensual, they're not thought out about what if this happens.
Well, because one side knows they're going to be okay no matter what.
Well, maybe she emotionally won't be okay, though, if it doesn't go the way she wants it to go.
But again, whose fault is that?
I don't know that she absolutely knows that she'll be okay.
Right.
Because
we know
if they have sex and everything like that, if she don't get that man's information, she's out of luck.
So she's what?
The government can take. She can get government assistance. She still thinks she can do to get help to be taken care of.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily taken care of well.
But it's still
let's not
taken care of.
That you getting the sun and the moon and you making enough money to make it through.
I don't think most people together have sun and the moon, right? I don't think that is. You just take care of your child the best you can, whatever situation. And if you're having a child and you can't support it, then what are you having a child for? Why are you doing reckless things that
to have children that create children?
You know what I mean? So I'm saying if they talk about
and that's on both sides.
That's both. Yeah.
We know that we've been talking about that because you guys from the rip were saying he needs to know who he's laying with. He needs to ramp
like
it up.
she
like that's usually what y'all be saying. Oh well, she needs to know who she dealing with. And
no, I don't think we say that. We say
yes,
that.
Yes, you have. You said this before.
I said everybody needs to know who they're dealing with. That's what we talk about. You should. Like we said both of us should. But on here, because you were gone for 30 minutes, they kept telling what the man should do to protect himself, how he should do this so it doesn't happen to him. And I was saying, where's the accountability for the lady that he's laying with that's consensually having this?
The one that's giving her body up.
right? We're both giving it up, but then we should both have an equal say in what happens if anything goes further. So everything that comes with that, we should
But
both have.
that's not how anatomy in the world works.
No, that is how anatomy works.
That's
Anatomy means-
exactly how it works.
right.
No.
The world, and again, like again, you keep. I think strengthening my point is saying that yes, the world says if you have a baby, we can try to force this man into at least providing a monetary support for this child, so 18 to 21, right? So you can force him to pay for this thing that he doesn't want or didn't want, this unintended consequence that he didn't want to happen. He has no say what happens after the sex, which was consensual. He has no say in it. Or if he wanted the baby, like, yo, I always wanted the kid. And she's like, no, I don't want it. He has no say. So all I'm saying is we both don't have equal say in this. And it should be something where we should be able to have equal say in this. I don't know how it would work because I don't think you should be able to force someone to have a baby. So that's tough. If a man wants a baby and she doesn't, I don't know if we can go in there and take it out and put it in somebody else, put it in his other joint, his side joint.
It
Maybe
don't work like
for him. Yeah, all right. Well, I don't
That's
know.
one time the side joint don't work.
Right. So that in that case it's still really tough, but he doesn't have, again, he has no say if he really wanted a kid.
Ronnie
he really
says there's nothing wrong with being honest with each other.
But you still hold the cards. I can be honest with you.
And that's in this situation, yes, we do.
Right. Okay. So like I said, and just be used to double standards then. I don't want to hear anything about double standards. I'm with it. I'm for double standards. Right.
We didn't set up those standards, so you got to keep saying that part. They were already in place. We didn't set those standards.
We set the standards up. Standards are made by what we do as a whole. Like it's what we get used to doing, what we feel is right. Standards are basically culturally passed down. Right. Some places you can't, if you get pregnant out of wedlock, you ain't having that baby. You might not even make it. So everywhere is different.
Yeah, that's true.
Terminate you.
It's definitely different in different countries. So
our standards here are as they are, and so we have to act accordingly when we are having grown up.
So whatever the standards are, follow the standards.
Okay, because both folks it's going to fall on one way or the other.
It doesn't fall
one way or the other.
It doesn't fall.
Not over here.
And in the long run, the kid loses out.
One person is it's forced upon. One is not.
But it's only forced if they're not wanting to take their part of the responsibility. Then it is forced.
If I don't want to be involved in something, why do I have to be involved in this part?
You were involved with it when you were making it, though.
That doesn't matter. Just like I said, it doesn't. We both chose to have sex. We both didn't choose to have a baby.
Okay, then we should have both done something to prevent that as best as we could.
And we did. We did, and she still got pregnant. Then what? And that's not liar.
We got a baby coming, and we're going to both have to talk about how.
You keep saying we. We didn't decide. We didn't decide to have a baby. You decided to have a baby.
No. But when that baby is there,
no, 100%.
When that baby is there,
listen. The baby. Listen. Here's just that. We didn't decide to have a baby. We decided to have sex. A baby came from it. Now, one person can say we want it. One person can say we not. Right? Just like I said, there's never been a man in history to have an abortion. That's all women. That's all women. There's not one man in history of the world that aborted a baby. Not one. Right?
Also not one that carried a baby.
Well, exactly. So it's all on her. Right? That's all. It's a singular type of decision she made on. Again, she may take your counsel, depending on what type of relationship you have.
That's what you would hope for, right there.
You may take your counsel, but at the end of the day, she's just
it's her decision
on her.
Because it's her body.
Right.
It was
back at that again.
Or that thing in your body, I should be okay. So it should be my body too. It should be my body, my time, my energy as well. I should be able to say, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with it, and it should be okay. And you shouldn't be forced to do it. I don't think. And I think if we had something in place like that, maybe there'd be less of this, right? It'd be less because besides, like she would know, hey, this is just me. I think I seen it with I think Safari. One of Safari's.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And they were like, yeah, you had the kids, and she was like, yeah, and they were like, no support. They said, what you mean? How much I take care of these kids? I'm confused.
She fell out.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about the kids. It was about the support you were getting for the kids. They're your kids, but you're still looking for someone else to take care of them.
Ronnie says, "Oh, please, Darrell."
I get it. I get it. This is the one side in it. This is the women thing.
Y'all got this
Ronnie,
one-
Ronnie,
they got
what's
this
up,
one
Ronnie?
thing.
I
Y'all got
hear
this
you.
one thing, but y'all got the most powerful thing of them all.
Because
You
you
got
got
one thing, but it's
you control the man's life for the next, 21 years.
or 20 seconds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. It's not a good deal if you're 20 seconds.
You want to
No,
talk
I'm
more than
saying
20
she
seconds.
go. No, she say
At
this
least
is
20
not going to
minutes.
happen. If she say it's not going to happen, that's it. There's no more discussion. after that.
That's why we got to really hold on to some kind of family structure here.
There's no family structure, Ruth.
But we need it.
Clearly,
Clearly,
this is just simply unfair,
Right.
and women holds all the power.
That's what I'm
It's
hearing.
That's it.
The first time you're having sex, I'm pretty sure you're not thinking about a family structure. I don't know what.
Well, I think most are not thinking about a lot of things
Right.
they need to be
the
thinking about.
first time you have
already
sex,
said that.
you guys are probably
Well, maybe
dating.
it's time to start thinking.
But I don't know if I want a family with you. That's the problem. We do things
Why
kind of
are
out
you
of order.
lumping and rolling with me with the possibility of it? Why?
Well, y'all just
Why am I
addressed
thinking
it.
about it? Why am I doing anything with you? Why am I doing anything with
Ronnie
Like-
says, "I'm going to be on the show real soon."
Yes, Ronnie. Yes, we need you.
you? Listen, like I said, it's the same thing. I think part of dating, it's all part of dating, getting to know somebody.
Yes, it is.
Right.
It is.
Right. So,
You
and I
have
think that's
So
But
And
you
that's
have
the
to
problem,
do
Ruth.
so. You have to move
Yeah.
in an intelligent way these days.
my
Right.
first
Ronnie said, "Birth
show,
control."
my first show,
Mhm.
I
I
said
think it's 100% great.
stop sleeping
Mm-hmm. You
with
did.
Negroes.
But again, even
Kills
that
your
ball,
but it kills your it kills the problem. One, you're gonna get to know who. I said that
Mhm.
early,
Mm-hmm.
and women have decided to try to act like men, and it is not working out because y'all sleeping with people like we did, and it don't work out, and it's at a mass level now, openly.
So yeah, I don't
There-
know. I think it's more free. Sex is more free, right?
Yeah,
More-
it's like that. Like you said, she just said something about a family structure,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that's gone. Like all of this, I'm an old fashioned dude in a lot of ways. I get that, but a lot of the ways that things have changed, it's not helping nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you changed all the ways and they worked or they helped, I'd be like, okay, cool. I need to move with the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing productive coming out of this. I feel crazy in a way where it's like we actually have to debate on whether or not our child, a life we created, even has to be debated whether or not it's going to be brought to term.
Right.
That alone says a lot about where we at
Mm-hmm.
on a
I
lot
agree.
of levels.
I agree.
So sometimes I understand. Don't mean
I
I
don't
agree.
know about that because even today, like say if you do get pregnant today, I think it's a real question to ask because we don't know where this economy is going, right? Can we afford this new strain on our finances now? So I think it's definitely going to be a question that may be posed even in a committed relationship, with the way things are.
So again, that life comes up against your pocketbook. Again, and that life comes up against your lifestyle.
Right. So if you're going to have this life and it's going to be the quality of living is not going to be great, then I think that's something that needs to be taken into account too, right?
So terminate it.
Well, what I'm saying, I think I was just responding to you with people having this, these, you're coming up with these, tough conversations today to do with time and money and things of that nature. And it's tough. I mean, you could be trying to do everything right. You could be using birth control and things of that nature, but nothing's 100%. Things can still happen. But I'm not. I will concede. I don't think most people are getting pregnant on birth control. I don't think that's the case either.
I got a son.
Sex is the cheapest.
I got
the cheapest.
Wow.
Sex is the cheapest form of entertainment. So right now, where things are so high and things of that nature, what do? You you're sitting home, you Netflix and chilling, and the penis pops up.
But this, right? But
Ronnie
this is
says, yes. Who wants to bring a kid in this world?
Yeah, it's tough right now. It's
but that's been all what's been said for how many eons. It has never been a utopia on this planet that we can recall. From as far back as you can go through your religious books to anything, it's always been a war. It's always been a famine. It's always been the economy crushing. It's always been people that have been out of pocket with the way that they live.
No, I don't agree. I think that there have been times of that, right? Because everything ebbs and flows. You do have times that you feel like, and even if it just feels like it's a better time now, it feels good now, right? This is a good time. It feels like we can, we don't feel the despair. Like right now, I feel like it's a despair around that's different than I felt, I think, ever, right? So, but things do ebb and flow. So I think there are times where things feel better and you feel more like, hey, you feel, I would love to have a family now. This is a good time to have a family. Everything it feels better. So I don't think that we're actually looking for utopia, but I think that there are times you can feel things are good, and I think that's when there's like a baby boom. Like there's a lot of baby boom now because things feel good.
But that is personal perception or perceptions to region or lifestyle. Because there are some people that feel as though it's a great time for all of this stuff to be happening. So you always hear about this. And then what I was saying, along with what you were saying, is that when you look at the world, people have always said, that statement, I wouldn't want to bring a child into this world. And it depends on where you were at. What I'm saying?
Right.
Again, and that goes against what I said as well. People have always said that, and there's always been children coming. Always been children coming. Through enslavement, through world wars, through depressions, through all of that.
Right.
And partly now with children, with there not being such a big amount of children being born, they never had they never had a bunch of abortion clinics either. They never had such a medical situation where you have so many hospitals. You never had children on all this medication when they were young. You never had people on this much. We don't know what's going on with our bodies physically, and then also with us. Like I said, you got all of these other options. They never had these options.
Grandparents had options because people were going to rooms in the back of houses and people were using hangers and things of this nature. And
but were they like this?
They were worse, dying, right? So now they say, and I don't know what the numbers are, so I can't speak to if the numbers are like we do have a lot of, like you said, a lot of places where people can go. I don't know the numbers, if numbers are higher or lower or a lot higher, or if it's more people. I know we have more people now. We have like 3 times more people than we did at that time. Like we'll say, maybe. So I don't know if per capita it's any different. I don't know. It could be, it might not be.
So you have a bunch of people, right? Well, this is what I'm saying. Even when they were doing that, it was certain people. You had to know who those people were and how they were doing it. Or either they were giving them, you eat this, eat that, it'll terminate the pregnancy, this, that, and the third. But it was certain people.
Different ways of doing it, right?
But the families prior to, let's say, probably before like the 50s and ups, they were usually bigger. You don't hear about people having 14 kids, 8 kids, 5 kids no more.
They were bigger and
in one family.
Another family across the street too. They had another family around the corner too.
But like I said, you didn't hear about that where it was one family. You had one inside the house. They had all that, and then Pop had them over there. You don't even hear about that no more. It's either it's one dude creating a bunch of kids somewhere, or it's a girl that got 4 different baby dads. Like the dynamic has changed.
The family structure is different. Yeah,
it's changed. It's not like something happened. And that's something that we got to look at too. Like if you ever talk about it, something happened.
Yeah. There's a shift. There's some kind of shift.
It's a shift.
Yeah. Because, when you talk about that value of,
they gave women the right to work.
Can you afford to have kids and all that?
Yeah, something is
we put a different value on family. So it depends on that person and that couple.
You went to work, and you going to work changed the family dynamic.
No, it did not, because
It
we
did.
set out to have
Who's
a family
home?
with work
Who's
and
home?
no money
No,
and a
no,
bad
no, no,
economy.
no,
Yes,
no.
we
Women,
did.
women are choosing their job over family right
No,
now.
now,
not-
And
yes.
that is really big, and
I'm
that
not
is
asking
actually
you-
proven.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes,
asking your
no, I
feelings.
know now where we
No.
are with some people. Yes.
Right. And that changes things, because now if a woman's like, and it's not wrong with it, I think it should. If she's like, I want to prioritize my job and things of that nature, and now they want to, they're starting to have families at 40 now.
Yes.
So
That's
you're
what I
not
was
gonna
about
have
to
those
say.
families.
She's
You're not gonna
40
have
years
more.
old. She's
Yeah,
40
you're
years
not
old. She wanna
yeah.
when she's supposed to be leaving having children, she's
Right.
starting to have
So
children.
now she can't have as many. We can't have as many, right?
But didn't you
So
talk
it's-
about affordability? Maybe she wanted to make sure she could afford these kids.
No, I think that women should work. At one point, when we're talking about, when Vaughn was talking about it, I think women were home more, so they were home taking care of the kids, right? That was the dynamic. The man would make the money, she would be home,
Yeah.
I guess, or even if she had. So it was a different time. But times are different,
It
right?
was.
We're all out here getting it because we have to, like you said.
Yes.
We all have to take care of each other. If I'm in school, I got to take care of myself. I have to have an apartment or a house, whatever
But you
case may
do-
be.
True.
You have
But
to.
you have to decide on what your values are with a family. You have to decide your priorities there. Because I know I had my kids with no money. With no
Yeah.
money. With,
Well, then why'd you have the kids with no money?
because
Sorry.
when you talk about affordability, because I felt like, you know what? There is no ideal time to have these kids. And I want to grow up with my kids.
So that refutes every argument pot before this. Then that that just kills all that.
How does it kill all of that, Vaughn?
Ruth, when you said you had no money,
Ruth?
Meaning I had minimal money, okay? Because I was in my early 20s, right?
Rose.
right?
Well, I just started my career with teaching, right?
But then your overhead wasn't as much either, right? So it kind
Well,
of
we like
balanced
to
it,
say
right?
that, but I mean, we still had to pay rent. We still had to
Right,
afford things.
right.
We still had to send these kids to school. We still had to get food.
They go to private school.
They went to private. Wait, but there you go. They went to private school because I decided to take a pay cut and teach at a private school versus a
They can
public
go there.
school
So you
that I
made
could
it
have
work.
made more money.
Right.
So,
Right, so
it
you
work.
made it
I'm
work.
trying to say,
Right.
you have to think about the structure and your priorities and what matters.
Right. So I wouldn't say you raised them. You did. You made it work.
Oh,
It
we
wasn't
raised
guys
them on
were-
zero. Trust me.
wasn't like you were struggling for food and to keep the room.
We were struggling.
Well, again, I think we all struggle, but you find a way to struggle through it.
But
Wasn't
we decided consciously
did.
to still have this family. They were not oops babies. That's what I'm saying.
So were you married? You were married when you had your children, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you were married, you were already in the agreement.
Yes, in that agreement
and-
as a
right.
couple. Yes.
So you're already in a solidified agreement, which is a little bit different than most people.
Okay.
But you had your children, you were financially sound or financially stable, or were you getting there?
No, trying to get there. Finish.
Okay, so you were
college,
trying to get there.
I think you were more there than you thought.
No,
Right.
we were not
You
there.
weren't-
We
No,
were
no,
not.
you were there. You had
We were
an
not
apart-
there.
you had an
I had
apartment
to
house?
make a decision. No,
I'm
we were
asking
not,
again.
Daryl.
Did you
I
have
had-
an apartment or house?
We
You
had an
somewhere to stay.
apartment, Daryl.
Yeah,
Right.
you're ahead
You
of the
had
game.
Okay. I was having epilepsy at the time.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Did you have
You had
food?
medical issues, right?
Did you have food?
We had food, but it wasn't the kind of food maybe we would.
Was it food?
We're not talking
It
about.
was
You don't have
food.
to have filet mignon.
Mignon,
Filet
mignon,
mignon.
mignon.
Yeah. I can't speak with these dang braces,
That's
but
okay.
you still can feed each other. You have spaghetti. You have rice and beans. And you have
Yes,
things.
we
You have
did,
food.
but
So
my point
listen,
is-
good times. So good times is what that was about, right? Good
Right.
times. That's a vibe.
But
Like,
it was a
you
conscious
still-
decision on family structure starting when we wanted to
I don't know
start
about-
it.
but you had a base, and you had, even though you didn't have, where you may have been. I'm not where I want to be now, right? And I live pretty decent, but you still had, you got electricity, had somebody else. You had two incomes, right? You guys are making it work. That to me is how you build a family. So I'm just saying, I think it's good. No problem. I mean, you look back on it now, like, ooh, we struggled. And I think we all struggle through it. And we
Everybody
learn.
has
Right.
to make that decision on their struggle. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to
But
make
there
that
was a
decision.
it was
How,
a
you
it
didn't
was
know what your struggle was, Ruth. You were 20-something years old.
I
What did you know?
what it was.
Oh,
I
you
had
were
other
20,
things
so
to
you're the
compare. I had
120-year-old.
other things. I had
So-
other things to compare the struggle to. So
You're
I
the
did.
120-year-old who knew what it was, right?
I was aware. I was an aware 20.
You were the 120-year-old.
She's
So
been
wait,
married since she's
everybody
12, Daryl. She was ahead of the
Yes,
game for a long
struggle.
time.
You're not hearing me. That people have, even if they're not married as a couple, they have to
So-
decide on how they're going to do it.
And that was the initial statement we have to decide,
Yes.
but she is able to decide. And if you make, like, you listen how y'all made a decision together, even though you were not financially sound,
Yes.
and that built
I
bond
think
between you.
I think you were financially sound.
I wish he would stop saying that because I was not.
You guys were.
No, we
You
were
had
not.
You
the
can't
reason
say
why
with
the reason
somebody
why
How can
else's.
you
the
tell me that I
reason
could barely make rent? How can you tell me we were financially
Right.
sound?
But did you make rent?
that you made it.
You
But
make
it's
it.
how we made it.
That's what life.
But
Life,
you
you're
can't
going to
say we
always
were
at this
financially
level.
sound. We
So
were
At whatever
financially
level you're
stable.
on,
But
Ruth,
that's still a struggle.
whatever level you're on sometimes, where I'm at right now, it's still a struggle. I can say I'm not financially sound. No, but we make it. We find a way to make and get it done.
That was my whole point. People have to decide on that for themselves.
that's what
You didn't. Okay.
that was one of the arguments on when you were saying why they decide not to or whatever. If the dude say I want to, she said, well, I know this is not.
Right.
This is one of the reasons. Which, as you showed, just being human, you can actually get past that. And then
Some
you
people
have
can.
and you created these very productive people into society.
Some
You know what I'm
some people
saying?
can, because
Some
sometimes
people
that child can throw that whole
pull up.
relationship off.
It could.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That child can throw everything
It
off.
could have. True.
It definitely can, because again, you don't know what you know until you get into it. Sometimes it's easy to think. I know, even at my I remember having a job where they were like, once you have kids, it's gonna be different. And I'm like, it ain't gonna be different. Like, I raised my sisters and I had a mom, like, no, no, no. But once you have a child, it was very different.
Yeah.
extremely
Differently by having every day and it being your, so things do change. Once that child comes, it can change the relationship, which is also, it could change it to the point where I don't want to be with you anymore. I said I didn't want it.
100%.
Peace out.
100%.
Yeah, I think they need to look at that, evaluate that, and
Wow.
something has to be done.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
That's a
as a it's just too willy-nilly right now, and it's getting worse. Like Juan kind of said, sex is coming hot and heavy these days.
Well, they're already passing laws to make women have children.
Oh yeah,
What?
that's true.
Well, yeah. They're saying once you, well, they put it to the state, so the state can say what happens once you conceive.
Do y'all understand that there are women that are saying, I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to have my child?
Well, Leanne's saying they don't have that decision anymore, so they're kind of making it
Taking
for
that
you.
away is what she
Yeah,
said.
But this is
both you
but
guys.
what I'm saying is the fact that it's a discussion
Right.
that a woman is thinking about having her child is crazy.
Why?
Like, it's
So
so
why would it not be a discussion?
normal.
Your body changing, just because you have a child don't mean you have to do something, right? It does. It also, your circumstances should, if I'm sick or
We're not none of the take out all of the exceptions, all of the things that are understandable, right? And I know women that have had abortions. I know all of that, everything. When I raise dogs, right? I have a bunch of dogs.
wow.
No, listen to no. Listen to what I'm going to say. No, I'm not about to say that. I'm not about to say. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Listen to what I'm going to say. To you. Yeah.
Let the man finish down.
People, because I only can speak on things I can relate to. I'm not
Okay.
a prolific speaker.
Right.
So, there was a word that I heard, call, Kull. I didn't know what it meant. And the dude said it. He was like, I'm like, what is that? He was like, well, you kill off, or like when they would just kill off everything. They would kill off the animals. And I was like, why would you do that if we can't do this or we can't do that? And it kind of made me feel like, when it came to having the choice of having a child, why would a woman feel, what happened to her to make her feel like I would have to not have my child? it made me feel kind of compassionate toward the woman. But then again, I'm like, why doesn't the man get a chance to say anything either? It made me feel compassionate to her to say, what happened that made that woman say, my child, I can't have this child? When I had a good mom. My mom gets on my last nerve, but I had a good mom. So when a mother is saying I can't have that child, what happened?
Right.
And
And I think that would be a question for women. So I couldn't tell a woman that just because you're pregnant, you should automatically have this life. You shouldn't think about it, because I don't know what it feels like. You know, so
right,
I don't have the aptitude to say or not say what it is. So I would have to lean on them. So if they felt that they didn't want to have a child for a certain reason, I would support that. You know, if they
right.
did want to have a child, okay, I would support that as well.
And I was
Yeah.
trying to understand. I said that to say this. I tried to understand because I had women around me that I loving people, but they couldn't have a child. They couldn't have that child. Where I seen them be loving to everything around them, but when it came to they couldn't do it. And I was like, what the? And not to look at them like I just want to chop your head off, or I'm not going to talk to you no more
Mhm.
because I don't
Doc said,
understand.
"What's up, y'all?"
Hey, Doc.
Whatever.
Y'all look cold blooded.
Cold blooded.
Doc, hello.
What up, Doc? I forgot she had
But
left.
Vaughn, on that statement, you think something has
Something had to happen.
happened to her? You really think, or is it just her
Fear,
How
right
she's
to
wired.
decide?
huh? But see, if you said she said how she's wired. Leanne said it might be how
Mhm.
she's wired,
Mhm.
which means if she's wired that way, would she make a good mother? I heard I
Probably
had
not.
Maybe not.
okay, and
Well,
then
just because she wants to get rid of a child doesn't mean she's not a good mother.
Well,
I mean,
no.
that's probably the start.
it's
But
circumstance.
but
It's
that's
circumstantial.
what's tied to the value of a woman. If she wants a child, if she doesn't want a
Let's
child,
just say,
if
let's
she
say that,
has a
right.
child
That's true.
and she doesn't have a child.
Or
Mhm.
she need to have maternal instinct
Yeah.
because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Again, that's
Exactly.
And everybody does not.
or
Okay,
it may look
okay,
different. There's no way
okay.
for it to look right. We're trying to like you said, we're trying to put these qualities on something that could
Mm-hmm.
look very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we shouldn't think that because this person made a decision, maybe not to,
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, or
Mhm.
to have it for whatever reason, it doesn't really,
It doesn't put the value on them.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we have good moms that could be, maybe had a couple.
Mhm.
I think some had a couple ones that they didn't come to full term due to maybe making a dumb decision or whatever the case may be. That doesn't mean she's a bad
Right.
mom. I
Right.
think that to me would show, all right, maybe she's making a good decision because she knows this wouldn't be a good time to have it, or this person won't be there, and the child, like you said, like Ruth said in the beginning, the child ultimately is the person that is
Mhm.
going to be the person that is
Mhm.
hurt from whatever decisions that are made. So maybe she's making a great decision by saying,
Maybe
"Oh, I made this mistake, and let me do this now."
I
Right?
had a
Okay.
wo- I
Mhm.
heard a woman say, I'm not a mother,"
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Okay.
looking like you got kids. She's like, I'm not a mother. I'm not a good mother.
Mm.
They are alive.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what?
That's
Now,
Mhm.
yeah. So
And
Or
it's funny,
some-
hey Vaughn, I heard someone say something like that as well, but you would never know by the way they took care of their children,
you would never, and that's
right?
shocking. And
Yeah.
again, like I said, what happened to her? Because she may be comparing herself to
Right.
what she saw or what she wished she had in her
Mm.
life. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's an unattainable standard that we make, and then we try to, and we can't obtain it, so we don't feel like we made it because we're
Right.
not here. But your kids may tell you different. Like
Yeah.
really, you need to look on your kid's face and see how they smile, laugh, how they love you, how they hug you, and things of that
How they
nature. Right?
respect you.
You can
Right.
tell sometimes where if the kid, they don't hug them, they don't kiss them, they don't. You can tell families where sometimes like, okay, all you're doing is providing a roof over their head and meals, right?
Yeah.
You can tell where sometimes the love isn't really there.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Everybody's not maternal. Every woman is not maternal, even if she has kids.
Well, again, what does
In the
that mean?
case of my mother, who had 5 kids and was not maternal at all.
Gotcha.
And so we were abused, so forth, neglected until grandparents stepped in on 2 of us
Right.
versus the other 3, they went through sheer hell. Sheer hell.
Mm.
You know,
But even then, I'm starting to think that it's maybe that she wasn't maternal, but maybe like you said, what happened? Maybe there's some things that are blocking the ability to, and we never know, because I know a couple
We never know.
situations I've learned where I had issues with someone, then come to find out their history. I
Mhm.
kind of understood why they were doing what they did. Now, it did not absolve them for who or what they were, but it helped me look at them differently. Because
Okay.
now I look at them more like this is a person with unresolved issues.
Oh, yes.
This is a victim that maybe can't show anything else because they don't even know how the victimhood that they're going through, and they need
I
help to
believe
really
Mhm.
come to a point to be able to be who they are. Like they're living to protect themselves. They're in survival mode,
And they're
Again,
always in survival mode.
Yep.
It
I
doesn't mean
believe that.
different,
Mhm.
but I can look at them differently. Like the anger I had for that person
Right.
Yeah,
was not there anymore because I looked at him like somebody who needed help. Right.
I agree with that. Mhm.
My
That's what I try to do now. I try to see what is going on in that person or how they get to that point.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
lot of times we're really working with unresolved issues. That's what we're dealing with.
For sure. For sure.
my ex, when I think oldest daughter was probably 15, which means I had been around them for at least 12 years. And we finally had a conversation. I don't know how we got in this conversation. And she started telling me about her past.
Mhm.
And when she started to tell the truth, the one time she told me the truth, all that smoke I had in my heart, everything that I had to let that go because I'm like, this person, I'm fighting a person that don't even exist. This is the real person. This other person that she's putting in front of me, that's not really her.
Right.
And she's lived in that mode for all of these years. And they're always in that mode. So some of the decisions, it started playing back in my brain why she was making, okay, this is why you're doing this. Okay. Which goes back to what Ruth said. You do need to talk to people. Because had I known that in the beginning, I would have dealt with her differently. You know what I'm saying? Where certain decisions that had to be made would have never been made. You know what I'm saying? With all kind of stuff going on. But like Daryl said, when you get to know, somebody actually show their face, you'd be like, why didn't you just say that? I'd have took care of that for you. I'd have made sure you wouldn't have to, we'd have walked a different path. But, when they're used to people taking and not used to people offering or giving or providing, and there's nothing attached to it besides, I just want to make sure you straight.
Yeah, Doc says trauma changes everything.
Yep.
Yes,
Because
it
it
does.
changes the brain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is it can change it for the worse, like we're saying with some folks, and they don't know how to do better, or it can change it for the better because you want to do the opposite of what you experienced, which was my case.
Right.
So yeah, it can go either way.
That's a good question. I was Doc was here. I wondered about that question. If when you use what happened and you try to do the total opposite,
Don't
necessarily the best way to go about it. Like I'm just going to do everything opposite of what I did. What they did.
Yeah.
Is that also kind of? I know because it does lead trouble. Kind of my daughter gets away with everything because I'm going out.
Exactly. And I have spoiled adults. Exactly.
I don't know necessarily
doesn't necessarily work for you.
Right. It's better than I grew up, but then it's like
I agree with that, Daryl.
Got a little knucklehead that gets
we doing too much for him, right?
Right. It's the pendulum swung the total opposite way. So
Doc says,
yeah. Go ahead, Lee.
Doc says it's hard to have those discussions when you are afraid of judgment or rejection.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy. But see, all that stuff leads up to all of these crazy decisions, which now you see why I think back in the day when you had to court somebody, you had to meet their family.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get to see all the crazy uncle that stay in the room in the front. You know what I'm saying? You had to see everything so you knew what you was kind of getting
Right.
into. And when you were courting, you had to talk, and you had to talk in front of elders.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It must have
So
been 4 weeks. I ain't ever
yeah,
did that.
yeah, that's why I said courting.
You
It was
never
before
courted,
us.
Daryl. You
It was
don't
way
court.
before us.
My family. You want to meet your family? I met a
I
couple
caught
people.
them. We caught a couple.
Yeah, I don't know about the family.
He doesn't court.
Sit down meeting.
Vaughn.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Nah,
That's back in the day.
that's way, yeah.
Mhm.
But things change. That's all I'm saying. Things change, and it don't look like it helped none. You've taken away you more freedom, but I don't think the responsibility that came with that freedom was handled
Mm.
the
Well,
best
again,
way.
I think we need to stop using these antiquated ways of doing things to fit today. Sometimes we have to find what works today. We keep trying to use something from
Well,
before to fill things now, and that's a big problem too.
well, no, they're doing what they want, and they're having all of these fallouts over it. They're
Who's
worried.
doing what they want?
Everybody.
Yeah, what do you mean?
You're everybody. You have freedom to do what you want in any
But
way that
when
you want. And I'm
when did
saying
you
like
have? Oh, it is more freedom now. But when didn't
it's
you really
more,
have the freedom to do what you want? You know what I
you
mean?
know,
We had to sneak around more, and we have more access to things to be able to do things. But that's why things need to change, right? We need to stop having this narrative trying to look back to what people did in 1940
you don't
when that doesn't work now.
no, it wouldn't work now. But being able to trust someone to show you that their character is good and you can trust that character, that needs to be applied. You need to be able to see if people are dependable. So even if you did have a situation, all right, I'm not gonna be with you, but that kid, you ain't. I'm gonna make sure the kid's straight. Like, are you
But again, this is
okay?
something that
So
went on forever. There's been, like I said, Papa was
right,
Rolling Stone. They had things that talked about all these.
right,
Nothing is new. None of these situations are new. None of these attitudes are new.
nope,
So we need to stop acting like the stuff didn't happen all throughout history, right? Nothing is new. Nothing is new under the sun. This stuff has been happening. But I think we need to be more. Let's speak to what's really happening, and now try to make it a way that so people are not trying to duplicate something that's unattainable. First of all, you talk about courting. What is that today?
So
Yeah.
even if you go back, throw out. You ain't got to throw out what I'm saying. The principle of it is what I'm is. You were able to see or at least got a hint of someone's character. Today, you don't have that. You don't really get to see what people's character is, or if they did, they wouldn't have such an issue.
I don't
You
think
have
that's
so
true.
many you got a lot that separates people now from actually showing who they are and you
Mm.
be able to trust them. If you didn't, you wouldn't need it. You wouldn't have all of these crazy
No, I think
situations on.
people have always
I got
lied
14
who they
brothers
are.
and sisters. So I
Uh-huh.
know my dad is only 15 years older than me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
But like
So
I said, things like that
Ronnie
come on
says,
easy. Mhm.
Ronnie says, trust is right.
So I think it's no different. I think that people are, if you take the time to get to know someone, I mean, if people get to know I'm using ourselves when we meet people. I know, we're pretty much upfront about who we are, what it is. There are some people who are going to be charlatans and be con men or women and try to, trick people. That does happen, right?
right.
I still think you can trust someone. I know a lot of great people that I can trust. I know the problem was at the time that they were being trustworthy to me. I wasn't being trustworthy to them.
Mm-mm.
Right. So,
Right.
but it wasn't them. It was me being the opposite of what they needed at the time. Right. Not me.
Right.
Not me. Even in my forthcomingness, it just wasn't
100%.
right. So it definitely led them down a path that was bad. So it wasn't really them because I was giving them kind of what they wanted. Right. I was deemed to be trustworthy. So it's just depending on what, who you meet and what they're ready to give and where they're at. I do think people need to get healed so they don't know. Because I really didn't know what I was doing was wrong.
Maybe that.
Yeah, I think
That's a real big thing because nobody was telling us it was wrong.
right.
Ronnie said yes, 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 and then she said the average man.
The average man, what?
So, wait, but so when we do that, we kind of negate some things because, well, then what's the average woman, a fool? Because they fall for the average man who's doing the nonsense. What are we saying there?
Well,
So we can't really say that. But I mean, there are some men that are way, because at one point I was that way.
Oh, Doc says some Daryl's always slip through.
But
Yes,
see,
Doc.
I like what Doc said there because she used it for as an outlier. Most men are not that, right? But I think as we're
Right.
young, men and women, as we're young and we're finding our identities, we learn some of these bad characteristics, and we don't know to talk about them. So I
Ronnie
think if
said, "Damn fool."
I wish when we were younger, for me, I had a more positive male role models that could tell me some things that so I didn't kind of learn on my own and learn through negativity that you see on TV. And I think that's one thing they deal with today is a whole bunch of fake relationship advice that's being given. That definitely is destroying today because you hear all this nonsense that makes it dating very adversarial. So we need some positive things to talk about where men and women can learn how to be in a relationship, how to treat one another. Because women are the same thing. If you allow somebody to do something to you, then he's going to continue to do it. He thinks it's okay. And you think it's okay to be treated that way. So we both have to learn how to, hey, listen, I don't like being treated that way. And if someone treats you that way, you got to be able to get away from that person. Right.
Fast.
But that also helped me to learn, like, I can't treat people like that because they're going to leave. But if I treat you a certain way and you stay, I learned that this is okay. You learn that this is okay. So we're both learning very bad habits. You know, forming very bad.
And no one's calling you on it or holding you accountable.
Yeah. Who's holding you accountable too? Right. No one is really, because we're not around. So as the parents, we got to be really into our children's lives too, to make sure, like, hey, look, that's really not. I know it's tough because as a kid, you know everything, right? But you got to kind of, hey, I don't know if I would, like somebody to treat you that way. If they just pull up and beat and you run outside, that's not really the best thing to do. There's some things you want to, instill in your children. And hopefully that they're going to make mistakes, but hopefully they don't make some of these mistakes.
And the kids are going to do what we've done in the past too, as kids, and say, "Oh, you're just old and corny, and you don't know what you're talking about." Right. So we're gonna get that back either way. You get it full circle.
But I think putting it out there, at least when it does come up, they may be able to see, like, oh, they were right. Yeah, their corny old butt was right.
Right, 20 years later.
So yeah,
it's rough.
Sort of, kind of, yeah.
Leanne, what are you doing? You're too quiet. I don't like it.
What are you talking about?
Girl,
I'm talking about you being quiet. I don't know.
She's taking it all in. She's taking it all in.
The concept.
I mean, we just went.
We did good. That was a good talk. That was a good talk.
It was great.
First of all, listen, this is the problem. I asked him a question. I don't know what you're talking about when we went. I said, Leanne, why are you so quiet? That's what I said.
And there was no reply.
This is what women do. Now we're gonna be.
We went totally gangle on one topic.
So you ask a question, she answers something that you didn't ask.
You need to be more specific.
How do you be more specific than saying, Leanne, why are you not talking?
Why are you not talking about this subject right now?
Oh,
at this time?
Fellas, pay attention.
Walk away.
Here we go. We were doing well. Then some people show how their people are.
That's true. You all right, Lee. You ain't got
Yeah, because they've been showing.
They be showing out.
Oh, we don't.
And they showed tonight.
We spoke very eloquently. Daryl as well is always interpreting my ramble speech. He interpreted very well for those that didn't get it the first time.
We got it. He just wanted to interpret it again.
You didn't get anything. And some people usually don't get the point.
Well, because they don't understand what you be just garbling about.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
It's very interesting.
Very.
Whatever, man. And see,
Yeah, yes,
Doc, we needed you.
yes.
We always need Doc.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, and then that'll be the last thing. Yeah, it would be good. I would like to hear Doc's points on some of it. But like she said, I think, and that's the other problem too when we talk about these things. Trauma, like we're usually moving through trauma, like we're operating through trauma.
Yep.
Or lack of knowledge.
That's
And
for sure.
having
That's for
sex
sure.
because it's easy to do, and the consequences, I don't think sometimes we don't truly understand until she'd be like, I'm late. Late for what? You better get on time. You better set your alarm clock.
Leave
That trauma's real though. It is. Whatever your trauma is, because yeah.
And we all have some type of trauma. Don't I don't care how your life is. It could be you don't know how things affect you. So talking to people really can help you get some of that out, because you never know. Like you could look at, I know me and my brother were talking about, and we looked at something totally different. And we were able to sit down and talk about it. We saw then like how we were both off. We both were like, you're the favorite. And we had reasons. We had valid reasons and times we could point out, remember this, but you forget when you were on the good end, on the good receiving end of things. You forget the good things. Like, nigga, I
Right.
ever. I didn't have a birthday. He was like, remember? And then we went to the moon. Remember the time we went to the moon? That was for you. I'm like, I didn't remember that.
Right.
That one time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was a very, very, I've seen it on a couple different rooms. And so what are the takes you have on this picture?
That's a bad pose. That's his hand in the middle of her thigh like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, when I first wrote that comment, I had to look. I'm like, that's his hand. That ain't.
Yeah.
But people pose. They do so much weird stuff on the internet. That was just a bad pose. When he saw that, he should have been like, "Hey, close your daggone leg." But his hand.
Go ahead.
His hand is the most off thing in that whole picture.
I would have said what you said about the children's legs being open. The girls, because we've always been taught, close your legs. You hear it all the time, but that's what we're taught. So we learn that over time. Ruth, what do you think?
I had to look at it a couple times, like Vaughn is saying, and figure out whose hand was doing what. But I do think it was just a mistake in the posing. The kid was just relaxed and had her legs open, and the dad wasn't paying attention to where he was putting his hand. It looks like just an innocent bad pose to me, but distasteful for sure. Distasteful.
What do you think, Leanne?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, everything that y'all said could have been done. I just think, his hands could have been somewhere else.
Where?
Their legs could have been closed.
Right. I agree with that.
But we're not going to just sit there and say, oh, the girl should have had their legs closed when his hands could have been on his knees or something.
Right.
So how would that look if his hands on his knees? With
his hands on his knees.
On his knee is right there.
Yeah, he has both hands. His knee. I don't know if he would have really had it on the other kid at that point, because his arms are already out wide. But again, he's touching her.
Yeah,
legs.
they said F the other two kids.
Well, I mean, I don't. Should they have sat on his knees then to get closer? I don't know what. Like the picture, it's the way it's set up, and it's kind of, they're trying to level set it, right? Because it's like a pyramid sort of for kids straight up the middle. So
cross your legs.
But cross whose legs?
Her. She could have crossed her legs, and his knee is literally right there next to the little boy on the right. But that's the photographer too. I'm a photographer,
right? Because so really supposed to happen. Both little girls' knees are supposed to be up in the middle, right in the center. Both knees are up. Even though the one girl's leaning over more, it kind of looked like it was supposed to be, the knees were supposed to be straight up. It looked like this picture was set up. Also, I didn't see anything wrong with the picture, because I don't think I get if he was grabbing her crotch, that'd have been different. His hand just resting there off over her shoulder. But again, and it's weird too, because like I said, are we worried? Or no one said nothing about the mom holding the girl at the top with her breast around her neck. Look like her hand, her second hand is over by her, across her chest. If we want to point things out, we can. Right?
No.
If that was a woman sitting there, would it be any different?
Yes.
I know Leanne said.
No,
it
wouldn't have been any different.
Right,
It would have
said
still
that
been weird. And
I've
just
never seen pictures with women being weird. You know what I mean? I've never seen that, except for Jess Hilarious, when I think she took a picture with her child naked in a bathtub or something. I know there was
just hilarious.
Jess Hilarious. I think she. I remember. I just remember another comedian talking about it, like, "Yo, this look crazy." He thought it looked crazy. Same thing. And she took a picture with her. I don't know how old the child was. I don't remember. But I think they were naked in a bathtub. Or somebody knows, please put it, or if you can find it. But they, there was very little outrage. Some men, some people said something, but it didn't have the outrage that we have when men do things. Right? It's automatically men around children. They're automatically seen sometimes as, something wrong. It's weird. And in this picture, what I guess I didn't see anything wrong with it, but also I did learn that he did, I think, molest two of these girls or some of these girls in this picture. Right. So the backstory, and I think that's why a lot of people were upset. Because he actually did do something. From what I saw in other groups, he actually did. Because I was like, this picture not a big deal. Like, he did touch him.
Okay.
I mean, he is an animal, right? And if we look back, we can look at this picture and say, "Oh, this was a sign," but I don't necessarily think it was a sign. I think it was a picture that was not the best picture for some people's likings, and some people can look into it in different ways. I get that, but I guess knowing the full story and now looking at the picture, you definitely can see why people are very upset with this picture, due to what actually transpired later down the road, but I'm glad Vaughn was gonna say
nothing.
And you said that's her daddy's fault. What did you mean, Vaughn?
Because when he saw this picture, he should have been like, "Hey, nah, this is not the one we're using. Pick another one."
Like I said, they did well. Yeah, see, and we can't really go off of what they felt, because if he was a predator,
was he was a predator?
He's saying
yes.
So if you look at his hand, both his hands are in inappropriate positions on his. They're in the thigh and the inner thigh of both his daughters. Both his hands.
I mean, now in hindsight, we can say
no
right?
father will be comfortable taking out. Would not be comfortable.
I would say I know there's no way I think of my daughter in that way or anything. So I would not trip if I had a picture and my hand was on her leg. I don't think that way. Right. That's my baby. I'm not doing anything inappropriate. So my mind wasn't thinking anything inappropriate.
Yeah.
That picture, but that picture is going out to a bunch of people. I don't look at pictures. I don't look at pictures that way, because I would say my daughter's beautiful, so I would never send a picture to anybody from worried about what people say, right? Or when she has her shorts on or something like that. I know we had a thing where she plays flag football. She had on these little Nike Pro shorts to play. Her mom had an issue with it. I didn't necessarily see the issue. It wasn't like they were super short or anything. They're little shorts that they play in. But her mom had an issue with it. It necessarily didn't, right? Neither of us are really wrong. It's just how we feel. It's our perception, right? So she's playing sports. These are the shorts that the girls wear playing sports.
Okay, yeah. See one. I didn't find one with Jess Hilarious, but Christy Teigen.
Okay. Were there a lot of comments with it or anything that you saw, Leanne?
But it was via a video, how they were saying that. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, so we see that, or even when women will take showers with their kids sometimes, and it's okay.
What about kissing your kid in the mouth? That gets a lot of controversy too.
It does. I kiss my daughter on the lips, or the cheek or
That gets
side.
a lot of controversy now.
Right.
Mhm.
But I think to me, I would, and it's just me, I feel like then something's weird with you if you look at kissing your kid. To me, something wrong with you.
On the mouth.
Yeah.
So with Chrissy Teigen, they probably had a lot of outrage with her because she's had a lot of inappropriate posting things about kids. There was one that she had with a baby or something, and she said, "Is it me or does anybody else feel like a pedo?" So
I don't know much about her. So, but
right,
that,
yeah. So
but listen,
she
let's talk about that picture. Is that picture inappropriate?
with her babies? No, they're babies.
In the bathtub.
They're babies.
So this is what I'm going to say. I'm saying what I would say. If that was a man in there with them babies, would you feel the same?
It would be probably not if it's him with his babies. No, not if they're not at that age where they can be like, this is this and this is that. Like once where
it's a problem when she did it.
5 or 6, right? They didn't look like they were babies.
No, they were older. They were older.
Right. It's a problem. It's a problem when she did it. It's an issue, and if it was a man in there, it would be an issue.
So her kids are that old.
Once you get past a certain age,
yeah,
you shouldn't be seeing your parents naked.
What age is that? What age is that, Leanne?
The age you can comprehend.
And is the age the same for men and women?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so what age is that you can see your parents naked and it's okay?
I would say 3 and below. 3 is even pushing it.
3 is pushing it too. Yeah.
So I would say like 2.
So 2 and under can if they took a shower with their kid, it's okay. Man or woman? Hello?
Yeah. I don't like the whole taking a bath with your kid anyway.
Yeah, it's
like,
a personal
It's
preference.
weird.
Yeah, it's a personal preference, but it's not for me. It's not for me.
Right.
I'm
with a kid. I don't know why I'm taking a bath with them.
Yeah.
Like why are you in the bathtub with him? It's weird.
But again, as a parent, if that's what you do, that's cool. I'm not thinking it's weird. Right, you're taking a shower with your baby, which you see naked all the time. Maybe I don't know why you would have to go green. Maybe going green. You're trying to say water. I don't know.
Doc says it looks like the girls are posed with one leg up, and the foot of the other leg is touching.
Right.
Seems on purpose.
Yes. Yeah.
Then she says, hold on, I gotta move.
That's Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Somebody could made that up. Could have made that up about the molestation from looking at the picture.
Wait, what's she saying?
Are we sure?
Oh, saying that the other dude talking about the dude.
The father with the girl.
Somebody could have made that up.
Yeah, somebody could have made that up about the molestation from looking at the picture. Are we sure about the backstory? If not, don't spread that.
Yeah, no, I saw a video and they had the girls speaking out about it. 2 of the girls are speaking out about what happened. And I guess that's why people put the picture out. For that reason. So in the other group, they did have a video where the girls were talking about what happened to them. I think it was with girls, something like that. Like I said, and I didn't know about that part when I was in other group. I'm going back and forth. Like this picture doesn't tell me anything. I don't know why we're casting aspersions on the family due to them just taking a family picture. Again, and I told people, I said people need to get healed because I think they're looking at it through a lens.
But evidently, evidently they were right.
Yeah, but 2 things so every picture where something like happened that's an indicator that something happened. So so in hindsight, that picture still doesn't indicate he's a monster.
No, but people that have been in that situation recognize they can look and say that looked like something.
No, they don't. It always looks like something. When my daughter was in a daycare, I was telling Leanne, her daycare, they hired a man. The next day, more than half the people took their kids out of the daycare. So eventually she had to let the man go because people were saying that man's there, he's weird. Why he be around kids.
Wow.
It's a perception we have that men are weird when they're around kids. Right? Because we don't have the same perception about women around kids because we think they should be. But abuse happens
maternal, right?
It happens between both. So you can't just, if you overlook one, that's how things happen.
Wow.
Even right now you see a whole bunch of teachers getting caught. With students.
Yeah, I ain't had none of them teachers when I was young, boy. Not one.
I plead the fifth on this. I think statute of limitations run so many years, but I'm just gonna plead the fifth.
Ooh.
I ain't getting none of them, no, bro.
But yeah, so it definitely is interesting to the way people look at things, right, and see things.
And where children are involved. I mean, what about people let your kids stay in the bed with them, till they're older? They sleep in the same bed as mom and dad.
Rihanna got out the bed like 2 years ago, like she was 9.
See? But certain people have something to say about it.
Right.
Some people.
Right. And I tell them, kiss my ass.
Right.
My whole entire ass. Because I think if you're thinking that way, to me, there's something going on where you're thinking that someone is doing something or something inappropriate. You know what I mean? Even now, if she climbed in the bed with me, it's nothing. Like it's my daughter. I don't get it.
It's your child, right?
Yeah. So I don't see any. I don't.
No, you're not seeing it.
Anything or do anything that would be intentionally. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't. So when I first saw that picture, I thought it was a family picture. Again, I didn't see. I like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, his hand. I'm like, he's not. I get it. If he was grabbing it or something, it's different. I think I seen something with Jason Momoa. He was standing up and he had his hand over his child and he's like rubbing him like this. And I look at him rubbing his chest.
That's weird.
Like, no, they're weird because you just.
That's what I'm saying. That's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. I think we look into something sometimes, and that's a lot of we're looking at things through our trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And trauma doesn't have to be something that happened to you. People think it has to be something that happened to you. No, it could be something you watched, something you learned, something you saw. Right? Secondary trauma is real. You can be traumatized by something that didn't happen to you. You heard something that happened. So now you start looking at things in that way.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we have to be careful with that. We have to be careful with that.
Doc said Vaughn's statement about not having that kind of teacher is the problem. Boys suffer from trauma when they are assaulted by older women, but hide it because they are seen as weird.
Or Doc, sometimes we're celebrated.
Yes.
Right? When you get that older woman messing with you in your second, third grade, you look at like.
Well, that's kind of what she's saying. She's saying that if you don't,
but she said look at it as weird. You're not looked at as weird. You're celebrated.
No, you're celebrated. But if you say something about it or then don't like it, then it's weird. Then it's something's weird with you.
Right. But usually,
I talked about my baby mama. She older than me.
Do this again.
Wow.
We'll tear this teacher up again. High five. I got her again. But right. You can't. Like I say, you feel weird even just talking about it, right?
I talked about my baby mama, Doc. She older than me. I said I don't like her no more.
She said teacher, not your baby mama.
Where boys again, that's that we'll say the negative type of, when it happens to boys, it's more quiet. It goes unheard. It's not as, and like I said, it's looked at as different. Like I was something the other day that was like, if your daughter. Like if your son came home was like, yo, dad, I was eating coochie, it'd be different than your daughter coming home telling she was sucking pickles.
Right.
You would definitely be like, as a dad, it just feels different.
Double standard.
Right. And double standards are okay. Remember, we talked about this.
Remember, we don't judge. Double standards are okay. Yeah.
No, you guys are okay with it, so we're okay with double standards.
Okay.
There was I think it was D-Ray. It was D-Ray. D-Ray was talking about how when he was younger, he was molested by two grown women.
Okay.
And he was young. He had to have sex with them. He had oral with them, and it messed him up because he's like, you're like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? He said,
right.
Oh,
He
it,
said,
it can mess the boys up too. Mm-hmm.
and like eventually he talked about it when a guy I know, he said he was only 6, 7 years old, and a grown woman took advantage of him,
Mm.
and that dude ain't never been right since.
Mm.
You know what I mean? When he told me, I was like, oh, okay,
Right
that
how?
makes sense. Huh?
Right how?
The way his relationship with women is, when he told me, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, like Ted, because it's kind of like you're told this is what you're supposed to do. Right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to do this. So when an older woman sees that and you can take advantage of it, you think it's right sometimes. You know, you may think it's what I'm supposed to do.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
And like I said, if you come home as a boy and told your dad you was messing with the teacher, sometimes dads was like, get him, son. And right then you learn, even if you thought it was wrong, it's not. It's okay.
It's acceptable.
Right? Your dad just reaffirmed for you this is okay. He made it okay by doing that. But your daughter came home and said that it would be like
murder.
You're going to kill everybody. You understand? Everybody dies. And that's what we have to stop, that type of double standard, because it's bad for boys. Right? Because this is what
it is. It really is.
You grow up to become that man who don't value women because this is what we know at a young age, and the concept doesn't really make sense. So then we grow up not knowing this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Tough, right? So yes, we need to talk to our boys just like we talk to our girls.
Yep. About inappropriate touch, all of it.
Absolutely.
All of it.
Everything.
We need to have it.
Inappropriate comments.
Yep. Comments.
With boys, we teach them to play basketball, football. We don't teach them, because even boy on boy, like in the locker rooms and stuff like that, you don't teach them. You're not supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to do that. Nobody's supposed to do that, right? So we need to teach our boys just like we teach our girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Body safety, good touch, bad touch.
Ronnie says bad for boys and girls.
Yep.
Absolutely right. And we need to do that. Like I said, I know even with me, my uncles was like, yeah, I had so many uncles, it was cool. I got a little girl coming over. Like they get excited. Oh, what you gonna do with that? Like, so you already know, like, okay, I think I'm gonna do whatever you think I should do.
And what is it I'm supposed to do?
Right. By the way, what is that?
Right. And that's how
it's a bad double standard. Bad.
It's terrible.
Bad.
And it's terrible. It makes it terrible for women too, because now you treat them differently. Like Vaughn was saying, you got to like today. You can't smack girls in the butt no more. That's sexual assault.
Yep.
Right. You say certain things. You have to teach boys too. Like I said, what can be said and what shouldn't be said, and also teach your girls what can be said to them.
Right.
If someone says something to you or touches you in a way, you need to tell somebody immediately. I tell my daughter all the time, anybody touch you, they look at you, won't tell. Right?
No, that's true.
Because you want to make sure that they're safe and they understand that no one, even with words, are not offending them in any type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's crazy today what kids know with the internet and think that they know a lot more.
Everything. Right.
They know a lot more. They know more than us sometimes.
Yes, they do.
I'm like, what's that? What?
Yep. Explain it.
Hey, you can't go to school no more. No more internet forever. You're never gonna see the internet again. So, but with that being said, that's why you have to talk to your kids and really talk to them. Mm-hmm. Don't think it's too late. That's the problem. But people want to wait till they're too young. It's never too young.
Mm-mm. It's getting earlier and earlier.
Not in today's world.
Earlier and earlier.
Never was ever too young.
Yeah, but the access that they have to information now is crazy.
But it's the access that people have to them. And that's why the uncles in your family got you. That's why that brother, that friend that came over, because you waited too long to talk to them to say this isn't okay. So they didn't know, so they fell victim of it. Like, we have to learn from our mistakes and say, listen, teach our kids, right? Right and wrong from early. What's good touch, what's bad touch, what should happen, what shouldn't happen. We have to do that. So, but any last words, guys and girls?
No. I think covered it all today.
We covered a lot of ground.
We did. It was Leanne's fault.
I just want to say we talked a lot about, the right to decide, my body, my choice, and all of that. And I just feel like, people do have to make a decision based on their life, on their lives, what works for them, hopefully as a couple. and make a better decision for the kid if you can, because there are other options, like where we were given, my brother and I, to our grandparents. There are other options if you are not that maternal and you cannot handle it. There are other ways for kids to come out on top. So let's keep that in mind as we make our body, our decisions.
Okay.
I think that is I follow Ruth tonight. I think I like that, because I think a true parent sometimes says, I can't do this and I need my kids to go with someone who's going to take care of them, right? That to me is being maternal. That's being protective. That's being all the things.
True.
I can't do it. And to me, that decision is a great decision because it's without ego. Sometimes our ego gets in the way and says, I'm gonna do it. And now these kids are in a very, subpar situation. So I do agree, find, if you can't do it, lean on family, lean on other people.
Yep.
But if that man don't want to be a part of
Lean on me.
if that don't want to be a part of your nonsense, let him go.
And I'll be your friend.
I'll help you
I wanna be your friend.
carry on.
I'm not gonna help you carry nothing.
Come on, Vaughn. Take us out, Vaughn.
It won't be long.
Y'all got it. Y'all killing it. Literally.
Please go to our Facebook.
Lean
on.
Please bring all your friends to our Facebook, please. Not for this. Please, not for that.
You will get one a week.
We're not gonna wait for the talent show. Let's kick it off.
Channel. And please like, subscribe, share. Don't the end of the show. Please don't. That's not indicative of what we do. Please don't look at it. Don't use that to judge us in any type of way. I don't know what they were leaning on, but they were leaning on none of the right notes. So
Lee, you did a great job.
Thank you. You did a great job.
Thank you. I should have had my lemon water. You didn't warn me. Sorry.
Ronnie said good night.
Good night.
Guys. Thank you, everybody. Leanne, hit the button.
Bye.
Bye.